The same tactic that they're doing over and over again of trying to manipulate the courts to get what they want.
Parties, of course, meeting for the first time in court today. It was about a 90-minute hearing.
Judge Lehman responds to this order and he just slaps her down.
Blake Lively's learning the hard way that court is not Hollywood. She's now made multiple attempts to gag Justin Baldoni and his attorney, now wants the case dismissed, and now is fighting back against a deposition.
Now you see text messages in this lawsuit from Blake Lively comparing herself to the heroine of Game of Thrones, the fiercest female character we've seen in years, Khaleesi.
Okay, I know that everybody is talking about Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and obviously all the "it ends with us" drama, but I just learned something that absolutely blew my mind. So literally all this time, I thought that Blake was the one who optioned the rights to "It Ends With Us." Like, she's so tight with Colleen Hoover. I thought for sure she was who brought on Justin Baldoni. So I'd been kind of going, I don't really like the way that she's handling it, but you know, it's her film, it's her movie, her option, her whole thing. I guess she can call the shots. No, because Justin, 5 years ago, was the one who optioned this film. He brought Blake on because Colleen Hoover is such a big fan. This is his film, and he has basically been pushed out by the Blake Lively show, and that breaks my heart because I've always been a fan of Blake Lively. I've been a fan of her relationship with Ryan Reynolds and the way that they parent their kids. I've always been a fan of her, but this has literally just become like the Blake and Ryan show, like promoting Deadpool Wolverine, promoting her hair care line, all of that. But oh my gosh.
You won't believe how bad things have gotten for Blake Lively in this legal battle. What started as a strong case has crumbled before her eyes, and the courtroom just dealt her another devastating blow. For the second time in a row, the judge shut down her legal team's attempts to turn things around, leaving them scrambling for a new strategy. And trust me, the drama unfolding behind the scenes, it's even messier than anyone expected. With rejected requests, surprise betrayals, and a last-ditch effort that completely backfired, is this the final nail in the coffin for Blake Lively's lawsuit? Or does she still have a trick up her sleeve? Let's break down exactly what went wrong and why things are looking worse than ever for her. Blake Lively walked into this lawsuit confident, but now her legal team is in full crisis mode. During the latest hearing, which lasted around 90 minutes, the judge made it clear that he wasn't buying what her lawyers were selling. Their latest move? A desperate attempt to buy more time by filing for yet another extension. But the judge wasn't having it. He had already granted them extra time before, and now, instead of the additional weeks they asked for, he gave them just one more day to submit their amended complaint. 1 day.
We found out that Blake Lively's team, according to her attorney, is actually planning to file an amended complaint in their lawsuit against Justin Baldoni and others. According to her attorney, Michael Gottlieb, that is going to include new claims from Blake Lively, and they're going to be bringing this lawsuit against new defendants.
Then filed 2 days ago for an extension. They're like, actually, we're not going to be able to make that amendment date.
You could practically hear the collective sigh of defeat from Blake's team as they realized they were running out of options. And that's not even the worst of it. In a shocking twist, one of Blake's supposed key witnesses, actress Jenny Slate, completely distanced herself from the case. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Jenny had publicly supported Blake, even calling her a close friend. But when the time came to back her up in court, she refused to testify. Blake's team wasn't ready to give up, though. They were determined to bring her in, even planning to subpoena her.
But he got a very strong tip from somebody regarding Jenny Slate potentially being brought into the suit.
Convinced that Jenny had information that could turn the case in their favor. But here's the thing. Critics argue that Blake's lawyers were just trying to make the case look stronger by involving more women. And when that strategy didn't pan out, they went back to the judge, begging for more time to figure out their next move. Too bad the court saw right through it. And speaking of desperate moves, Blake's legal team made another critical mistake. They tried to blame the delay on a completely unrelated lawsuit, claiming that a Texas-based case involving PR executive Jed Wallace was complicating things. Sounds like a reasonable excuse, right? Not so fast. Turns out Blake herself had actually filed legal action against Wallace before he even responded with his lawsuit. When Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, presented this information, it left the courtroom in stunned silence. It was a game-changing moment, proving that Blake's team wasn't being entirely honest about the reason for their delay. The judge wasn't impressed and denied their request for more time, forcing them to move forward whether they were ready or not. And just when you think it can't get any worse for Blake's team, it does. In yet another failed attempt to control the narrative, they tried to get a gag order placed on Justin Baldoni's attorney to stop him from speaking to the press. But guess what? That got rejected too. Instead, the judge warned that if the media drama continued, he might even move. The trial up? Imagine trying to silence your opponent only for it to completely backfire and put even more pressure on your case. At this point, it's like every move Blake's team makes is working against them. And here's where things take an even wilder turn. While Blake's lawyers were struggling to keep the case under wraps, Justin Baldoni's legal team did the exact opposite. They launched a website, yes, a full-on website, dedicated to the case, packed with evidence, receipts, and even a wonder 68-page timeline of events. This site included newly released text messages, one of which allegedly showed Blake's husband, Ryan Reynolds, expressing his excitement about working on It Ends With Us. His words? "This is going to be incredible. I happen to adore you, Justin." Can you imagine how awkward that must be now? Blake's team immediately pushed for the court to shut the site down, arguing that it was unfairly influencing public perception. But here's where things take a turn for the ironic. Blake's own legal team had been using major media outlets, including the New York Times, to tell their side of the story. So why should Justin Baldoni's team be silenced when they're doing the same thing? Once again, the court wasn't buying it, and Baldoni's website stayed up, leaving Blake's team with yet another loss. As if things weren't already spiraling, Blake and Ryan added fuel to the fire with their recent Saturday Night Live appearance. During Blake's hosting gig, Ryan made a surprise cameo, and they threw in a joke that many people believe was aimed directly at the ongoing lawsuit. But the US joke itself? Subtle. But if you know, you know. And Justin Baldoni's lawyer definitely knew. Brian Friedman was reportedly not amused by the joke, and sources say he sees it as yet another attempt by Blake and Ryan to control the public narrative. While it may have gotten a few laughs from the audience, legal experts say moments like, this could come back to haunt them. When you're in the middle of a lawsuit this intense, the last thing you want to do is make light of it on national television. Every word, every action, and every public appearance is being scrutinized. And now, with this SNL moment circulating online, people are questioning whether Blake and Ryan are taking this lawsuit as seriously as they should be. Was it just a lighthearted moment between a Hollywood power couple or a calculated move to sway public perception? Either way, Baldoni's team is keeping receipts. At this point, you have to wonder, how much more can her legal team take before they completely break? Every attempt to gain the upper hand has failed spectacularly, and now they're facing the terrifying reality of what's at stake. $400 million. That's right, this lawsuit isn't just about reputation, it's about an insane amount of money. Even for Hollywood's elite, that's a loss that would sting. So what happens next? Blake's team is running out of moves, and with every courtroom, loss. Her case is looking weaker and weaker. Will they finally manage to turn things around? Or is this the beginning of the end for Blake Lively's lawsuit? Let me know what you think in the comments. Does she still stand a chance? Or is it all over for her? Don't forget to subscribe for all the latest updates, and I'll see you in the next video.